Welcome to your Wednesday update. My name is Nathan. I'm one of your ministers. Glad you found us. If you already are finding this video, which means you're either digging pretty deep into our YouTube page or you found it on our email, you probably already know who I am. But for those of you who stumbled on this for the first time, my name's Nathan. This is my office. I'm your senior minister. A few of the things I wanted you to know. At the end of this, Abel Thompson, we're going to have a reflection from him, but I'll introduce that towards the end. Sometimes when we do these videos, it's because we want to announce things or let you know what's coming up. Things to sort of mark your calendar, things to be aware of, things to look forward to. That's not this video. This is more of a behind the scenes, what's going on right now. So let me tell you what's going on right now. First of all, there is energy in the church. It's exciting. It is exciting for me, palpably exciting. For the last few years, I spent most of my time just worrying about just how the church would make it through all of the turmoil, and I don't feel that way anymore. I feel excited. When I run into someone and they say, yeah, I've been meaning to come to church, I say, yeah, there's some great stuff happening. Love for you to be a part of it. So if you've been waiting for an excuse to come back or to watch us, at least to watch us online, come on, this is a great time. To let you know some of what's going on, we are in deep discussion on a whole number of things. One of them is we're doing dinners right now for families and family ministry. We are offering more and more opportunities, and our Whole Lives, a comprehensive sexuality curriculum, is coming back for all ages. We have some for adults, but we haven't trained the adults facilitators on it. But if you have a child or know someone who has a child who is interested in age-appropriate sexuality education, we are going to be offering that this year for kindergarten first, 4th through 6th, 7th through 9th, and 10th through 12th. Those are the curriculum ages. I don't know exactly how Kathy's going to lay them out. Also, Lee and Trey and I have had discussions. Lee's our music director and Trey's our choral director. Discussions about how to get you access to more music and more transformative music during worship. We've been having some really kind of deep conversations on that. And what's exciting for me, but may not be as exciting for you, is I just put together a budget to present to the board, which is balanced. We're going to do all the stewardship stuff in October, so we won't go too deep into that. But last year was a lift, and I was worried about it. This year, if everyone's still with us, we're going to do some really fun stuff. I'm excited to present it to you next month. Not now, next month. All right, so a few weeks ago, I did a service called Raising Unitarian Universalists, and I reached out to 5 people who are raised UU. You've heard from the first 2, Beverly Wilson and Melanie Bork. They both sat in this chair, literally this chair, and recorded right here. But the other 3, we're going to still do one a week. The other 3 recorded in their home. And the next one is Abel Thompson. A little about Abel. Abel grew up in this church in the 80s and 90s. He was a chef for a while, I believe. He is still a member. He was working for Together Baton Rouge for a while, and they loved what he did so much they sent him to New Orleans to work for Together New Orleans. He is also one of your social justice co-chairs, and in fact, I'm talking to him in 30 minutes after I record this video, but that's not relevant for here. Anyway, I reached out to him just like I did for the ones that are recorded, it's a little different. I reached out to him. I said, just put your phone down, hit record, just ramble through some thoughts. I don't need them precise because for the service, which you can still watch on YouTube, for the service, I'm going to cut them down. So just do whatever you need to do to let yourself process. So I'm going to give you basically the uncut video of what Abel said. I'm going to listen to it, make sure he's not, if anyone talks about their family or someone who didn't consent to be in a video, I'm going to cut that. But you're basically going to get Abel unedited, unless he edited it at home, which I don't think he did. Anyway, glad you're with us. Hope to see you Sunday. There's so much cool stuff coming up. Hope to see you Sunday. Come to middle hour. There's all kinds of great things. All right, here's Abel.
In first or second grade, so I might have been between the ages of 6 and 8, maybe 6 and 7. We were all sitting around a circle, and the teacher was reading a book called People. And the theme of the book was just the diversity of cultures and foods and dress and religions around the world. And, the moral of the story, so to speak, was, that differences make us interesting. That it would be a pretty boring world if everybody dressed the same and looked the same and believed in the same things. And after the teacher read the book, we went around and had a conversation about, what our religions were and what our ethnicities were and all this. Now, mind you, this is a pretty homogenous group of kids. This is a private school in Baton Rouge, so this is a pretty homogenous group of kids. So there wasn't that much differences in in ethnicities or cultures in this group. And the question got to religious beliefs, and I remember being kind of surprised that we're going around the circle and, all the kids are either, some denomination of Christianity or some denomination of Christian and they all believed in God. So it gets to me, and of course I'm like, I don't think I believe in God, right? And the room just fell silent, like, oh my God, you heard gasps from the kids, like, how could he not believe in God? And I was just as surprised at them as like, how does everybody, I'm thinking the belief in God is like picking your favorite color, right? Like everybody has autonomy, and I didn't have the language of this as a kid, but it's like, y'all don't have the autonomy to choose your own spiritual path at 7 years old, But that's what growing up Unitarian gave me. It gave me both the challenge of having to choose a spiritual path and both the gift of the freedom of being able to choose my spiritual path, and my connection to Unitarianism kind of evolved from kind of feeling like, wow, my parents got me going to this weird church with this weird religion I can't explain to nobody, and I used to hate being asked, what church you go to. It's a pretty presumptuous question, but it's one you get all the time in Louisiana or Baton Rouge. So, but that evolved to a real appreciation, when I got into my late teens and 20s, and I'm out in the world and I'm experiencing, I'm out on my own and I'm experiencing different things. I really enjoyed the freedom of being able to chart my own spiritual path and really kind of take from other, spiritual beliefs and other sources to chip off of what I, take what I can use and leave the rest type of thing, and incorporate that into the building of myself. So the freedom to choose my own religious path, I think, helped build an authentic self, and the church, growing up Unitarian, gave me that. So it was both challenging and free at the same time. And I've since in my adult years I have really welcomed that challenge, and I'm still growing spiritually. I understand myself as not static, but always changing and evolving. And fast forward to maybe a few years ago, I found mindfulness meditation. I found Buddhism. So I would go. Me and my mother would go to the Buddhist temple on Fridays. That's when they had the English speaking Dharma talk, and I really got into mindfulness meditation. So when I moved to New Orleans, I had a conversation with the Methodist pastor, and I was telling him about my spiritual history. And I told him that I found I really got into mindfulness meditation practices, and the pastor said, "So Abel, why didn't you just convert to Buddhism?" And my answer was, I was proud to give my answer, and it was, well, the Unitarian Church allows me the space to be both. So that's my story.